Nintendo has been very quiet this year in 2024. Most of the releases have been minor games, but again, I don't understand why 4chan is so upset over that. Like, you would expect Nintendo to say, okay, instead of releasing a 3D Mario game, let us give it to you now. And then instead of the Switch 2. And then the one, the Switch 2 has no games, because then they released Mario 3D Mario for the Switch 2, for the original Switch. See the problem there? But Nintendo fans will keep an eye on January 8th. According to a main leak here, the Nintendo will review the Switch 2 on January 8th. No official date has been announced. Again, this is actually in a couple of weeks. Very, very soon, in fact. In terms of gaming time, this is actually very, very soon. Because I remember when the first Switch was announced, it was so long ago. Okay? But the Switch 2 will likely be backwards compatible, full price support, for real full price support, not just anime games that two people will buy or indie games. As of course, Nintendo is guaranteed to get indie game support. Indie gaming has significantly grown in popularity over the Switch era. Outside Nintendo games, I think indie games are the second best selling thing on the Switch because there's not real much of full price support. So yes, indie developers will continue supporting the Switch too, obviously. More than likely, we'll probably still get, huge indie games, the biggest indie games around. Well, games like Balatro, Undertale, Deltarune, heck, even a game like Doki Doki Red Club or the FNAF series. Okay, a lot of those games will likely be continuing to put on the Switch because those games sell very well on the Switch. Indie games are very popular on the Switch. For an indie fan, the Switch is probably, outside of PC, the Switch is probably the best platform for indie developers. But the Switch 2 is being revealed in January for March launch. I really don't understand why they announced the Switch 2. But I think the thing with the Switch 2 is everybody knows what the Switch 2 is. Nintendo already teased the Switch 2, a while ago. Okay, around May. So we already know about the Switch 2. So maybe March makes sense, but some weeks, but this contradicts another week that we saw will be in June. Okay, but a person in Reboot who has been pretty much a guy in every part of the Nintendo Direct was mostly, yeah. A very accurate leaker said that basically, hey, the Switch 2 is being revealed in January 8th, Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. We're waiting to see what actually happens on Wednesday, January 8th, but the Switch 2 is apparently supposed to come up the next Mario Kart, which I think will be a huge system seller. And other than that, that's about the Switch 2. So is anyone excited for the Switch 2? I am definitely excited for the Switch 2. Obviously, the Switch 2, is going to have actual third-party support, not just indie games and Sonic games and, like, platformers. Like, Nintendo also have more genres than platformers, okay? Nintendo also have more types of games, okay? The Switch has definitely increased the types of games you can play on Nintendo consoles, but we should have everything, okay? Everything, all the huge games. Okay, not Concord. You don't need games like Concord, Dustborn. You don't need that woke crap. But games that will sell. Games like Black Myth Wukong. Okay, a game that will sell millions of copies. Okay, we need third-party support. We need third-party companies making games like that to sell millions of copies in the Switch alone. Okay, which I really didn't understand why all those Japanese games like Battlefield Ray Fantasia and that Tails game that released on the Switch when they know their games will sell more on the Switch than the PS5 and PS4. I think Dragon Ball Z Sparkling Zero, Dragon Ball Z games eventually all come to the Switch, so that isn't too surprising. But yeah, other than that, we have nothing really about the Switch or Switch 2 outside of this video. Actually, we have one, but it's very, very similar. But yeah, goodbye.